that deluge we had yesterday. I really didn't get much filming done yesterday because we weren't here very long, and a storm blew through, which we knew it would. And I was in the middle of cutting one of these big devils, and me thinking, oh, I can get that down before the rain gets here. I most certainly did not. I was about a quarter of the way into cutting it, and by then I was already committed. So I had to ride out the storm, and I was soaking wet and drenched. So it made for a short work day, which it kind of piddled around and rained for a while anyway. So today we're trying to get this thing wrapped up. Trying to get the layout here. I spent all this money on video and equipment. Here I am still holding my phone running the skid steer. Anyway, here in a bit, we'll walk through this set of logs and get a good look at them. I know the video I posted yesterday, the big tree where you heard Dad in the background say it cut hollow. I'll just run up here right quick and look at it. I had to cut off about 5 to 6 foot of that tree, but this is it right here. You can see it's still a little bad in that piece, not terrible. A little bad there in the second, but overall that tree still had about 800 board foot of lumber material in it, which is still, that's a pretty good haul for a tree. These trees are going to average really high on the volume because almost every tree has probably had, not all of them, but almost every tree has had probably 300 board foot or more per tree. So that's going to keep the average on the footage per tree really high, obviously. The thing that hurts some of these, and like I said, we'll look at them here in a bit, is the wind shake, which for what these trees have went through in their lives, it's no secret that there is wind shake. And of course, after that, it's all the sucker limbs from those trees going into survival mode after the tornado. That will definitely hurt this set of logs. Dad went over on the east fence line to try to find a couple trees we were told that were there. He's going to go ahead and cut them if he can find them, if they're there, if they're big enough. Then we've got a couple walnut just across the creek, and maybe 1 or 2 more down here in the bottom. And that'll have the wraps on this job. Then we're going to start moving equipment because deer season starts this weekend, and we want all of our equipment put in kind of a safe place. We'll take it up to our friend John's place. John's been buying some timber for us over here because he knows everybody, so it's kind of handy to have him. He's retired, so it gives him something to do, and sure helps us out. So the last couple trees over here, kind of see there's a bunch of dirt and debris. I'm going to try to dig down on this one. I had to push out over here where Dad's at now on this big one. There's enough bigger hackberries in there, the way the root systems are going on them, I don't think we could dig around those. But I'm going to get this brush here. Hickory was broke off. We're going to get it out of the way because, well, we got enough problems. We don't need to get hurt at work. And before somebody says something, yes, I have a brush grapple. Most of you guys that watch the channel religiously know that. But I don't bring it to job sites too often. I used to pack it around with me everywhere, and it just got to be where I didn't need it that much. It was just that much more to have to lug around and load and unload. It's just kind of a hassle. Let's see if we can put this over here without busting the window out. Then we'll do some digging. Alright, let's see what she looks like back here. And we might not be able to dig this, I don't know. Honestly, we probably can't where that's at. We can scrape the brush back, but I'd say that drop off there where it's at, there's no need to even try to dig it. It's a common misconception. It's like anything. People think because you can dig one stump that, oh my gosh, you can dig everything. Well, that's not necessarily true. And then, like everything, there's kind of a formula, a method to the madness. you got to make sure the tree is good enough and you're going to be able to dig enough to justify your time spent digging it. You can't waste your time, digging in hard areas on a low-grade tree where you're really not going to pick up that much volume. You've got to make sure you're digging your high-end trees to really make it worth everybody's time. Granted, I don't like to be wasteful, but we're here to make a living, and that's what we got to do, and we got to make sure it's in everybody's best interest what we do. My Dad's starting to whittle on this thing now. I've got the skidder across the creek warming up. I can probably go get it now. Cleanup down here where we started Monday. I was able to get the bee tree out of there with no problems, which here in just a second we're going to go up there, hopefully being protected in the cab of this John Deere skid steer. That's a candidate for a broken window. Yeah, hopefully being protected in this enclosed cab, we can get up there and kind of see these bees. They're going to be mad at me because I'm going to move their home. But I don't know what else to do with them. I can't necessarily leave a mess out there. And they're probably kind of susceptible to predators or whatever now, since their hive's right there on the ground. I don't know much about bees. I know to leave them alone. Alright, now hopefully, looking around, everything's kind of buttoned up in here, but they can't get in here. So, kind of see them. How well do you want to see them? Yeah, knock knock. Anybody home? Oh yeah, see, there they are now. They're angry. Yeah, they are angry. Okay, so the big tree from the video yesterday, I believe. I think it was yesterday. This is how much I had to butt off. Tell you what, we're gonna assume these bees are kind of calm. Let's hop out here and look at it. If I didn't show you good up close up the other day, I'm gonna shut that door so they don't decide to get in there and wait for me. So up here, probably 5 or 6 feet. It might be 6 feet. I'm zoomed way in, I'm sorry. You can see it's still a little bad there in the center, but you see it cut off really well, which it had this big limb over here, and this had grown into it, this dead snag. And we knew by looking at it over here it was probably going to be a little bad when I first looked at this tree. But if you watch the video, you can see where I first plunged the saw into it. Yeah, it's real bad. And of course, there was no good place to stand. Some deer hunters left all of his trash down here in the ditch. He actually had a deer stand in this tree, and he had to take it down Sunday night before we cut this. But so see right here, when I looked at this, I just kind of had a feeling that squirrel hole right there. Anytime you see something like that, got a big swell here, sounds like a drum, you know you're gonna have problems. And really, I'm surprised it cut off as good as it did, because it really did cut off pretty good up there, and there was still over 800 foot after cutting the 6 foot piece off. So I used the long bar for a couple reasons on this. One, there was nowhere to stand on the backside to cut this. You can see I put a notch in this tree to kind of bring it here back to the north, because I did not want it getting down there, because it'd have been a bearcat. We'd probably had to cut it up in pieces to get it out of there, that deep ditch. So it was a big tree anyway, but I probably could have cut that pretty easily with a 25-inch bar, but like I said, that was the reason I actually used the long bar the other day. And every now and then we come across trees where we need that long bar. Of course, you can see here, I cut this thing right on the ground. For the most part, it's a pretty flush cut across here. Of course, this line here is where I come in with my notch. Clip my spurs right here. This is what I use to let the tree go. You guys that know our cutting style and technique, I don't know if that piece would be good for anybody, for anything. It's definitely not good on a logging standpoint. I don't know if a woodworker or somebody like that could get any use out of that. Don't know. But that's going to be its final resting place right here. And I think what I'll do is I'll try to take the top of the bee tree there, and I think I'll try to set it up here kind of off the ground on top of this to kind of at least try to say I'm sorry for destroying their home a little bit. I don't know, they might not like that either, but they're already mad, so might as well just make them a little more mad. So that there appears to be the home base there, the hive. See, they're starting to really come out of there now. This, yeah, they're getting ready to, the cavalry's getting ready to come out of there. And then you got some idiot like me trying to provoke them. So hopefully I can get under this with a bucket, and I'm just going to try to pack it over there. We'll set it down for them, because those bees are pretty important. Easy does it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. They're really starting to come to life now. Let's see if we can get this over there. Hang on, guys. Just trying to help you out. Probably some honey in there if there's any takers. Oh, they're swarming now. They're pretty neat to watch, they really are. Bees are fascinating, as long as they're not angry at you. So we'll get this thing set up here and leave these guys alone for the day. Okay, so we've got everything kind of cleaned up and slicked up. Now this is the product of 22 trees. So they were pretty big trees, and we'll go through the pile and look at them here. Yeah, some are kind of ornery. This is all from a 2003 tornado. Wind damage. Stuff like that. Just it's kind of healed over, but it's still not pretty. And there's some stuff like that in there. There's another one. This is actually this was one. Dad must have cut this one. I don't remember cutting that one. But the thing about these trees is they've got a lot of size to them. They're a big set of logs. Get into some better butt cuts here. Of course, I can nitpick any set of logs, especially my own. We're kind of showing a little piece just off center there. Got something working down here too. Here's a pretty good log. Gonna need to put some irons in it because it's already starting to check out there. You can see, which it's got a little blemish here, kind of off heart. But the good thing about these, no worm in them. Just take a look at the butt of this log. It's pretty good there. Good little butt log there. Not too bad. Got a little spot here on it. Doesn't go anywhere. The tree was starting to really go bad. This is a good looking piece of wood here, except for this and that. Those will kill your high-end stuff. Absolutely kill it. Heart's a little off center up here. Not terrible. Tight growth rings on it, good thin sap for the most part. Starting to check out a little bit. Here's a couple of good boys right here. Couple of good boys. That looks good, doesn't it? This one here, this is the better one right here. That's a good looking piece of wood. It's really starting to check out. Need to get those irons in there because these logs will split clear in half. Tight rings. Heart is a little off center where it needs to be, but it started out early in life growing pretty good. Then it kind of slowed down these last several years. Slowed way down. No worm. Good looking bark. Good color. Good texture. Stump looks really good on this. Same deal. Starting to check out here. I believe I remember cutting this one. Let's go down here now. This was the big tree that I showed you I had to cut 6 feet off. So this is part of it here. This is still big for a second cut log. This was part of it too, kind of like an old, don't really want to call it a burl because that's really not what it is. Just kind of a cancerous figure there. Again, not really a burl at all. I don't know what you'd call that. Yeah, these top logs are huge. I mean, that's stuff like this is where your heavy lumber comes into play. That's all these are going to be good for. They'll be sawn into 8-quarter, 10-quarter type lumber. These 3 pieces here are all part of it. And I believe those 2 pieces back there are part of it. Just a big tree. Kind of go down through here. Good looking texture and color on this log. Heart's where it needs to be. Growth rings are tight. Sap's not terrible. Could stand to be a little thinner. Still not bad. Like I said, just a good set of logs just for the size. Wish we could have cut these about 20 years ago. Of course, 20 years ago, I'd have still been in high school. 20 years ago, I was getting ready to get my driver's license. That tells you how old I am. I'll be 36 here the 4th day of December. Well, I'll be 36 years old, so. That's a chunk of wood there. Got some double-hearted issues, actually kind of triple-hearted. Still, big piece of wood. This here's a good stick of wood right here as well. Tapers a lot. My gosh, this thing tapers fast. Looks good at the top, though. It's a good log. Good log right here. Hard to say what's going to be the best log on the job. This one right here is definitely a candidate for it. Hearts on center up here. This big one we cut today, 9 foot 24 inches. It's a good piece of wood. Got a little bit of a sweep in it here. Little sweep. Heavy on sap too. Still a good piece of wood. Good logs, guys. I'm happy to have every job I get. I wish they were all like this, the size, but it's not the way it works. But I'm happy to have them all. I truly am. I know I say it all the time, and I tell myself I say it all the time. I tell you guys, but honestly, thank you so much for watching our channel. And thank you for all the people out there that put their trust in us for harvesting their standing timber. It really means the world to Dad and I. As long as people keep selling this timber, I can keep making these cheesy videos for you guys to watch. So, and I do enjoy that as well. So, we're going to go look at some timber. And later today, I think I'll come back and grab the Ranger. I'm going to move the grapple skidder today. Get it ready for preparation for deer season because that's coming up. I'm going to move the grapple skidder. I'm going to take the Ranger home, and probably tomorrow we'll get these 2 guys out of here. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you maybe tomorrow, maybe in a day or so. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.